Hi, I'm Sandra Funk, interior design entrepreneur turned business strategist. You can find me helping designers confidently run their businesses and stand in their space. I created Design Zips to give you access to my proven methods so you can transform your business too. If you're looking to take control over your business for a life full of balance, abundance, and joy, you've come to the right place. So it's all about saying the boundary before the behavior begins. So how do we do this? We make sure that we include this conversation around boundaries all the way back at the beginning when that client is just a wee little potential client baby swinging your arms and you're like thinking everything is just going to be so rosy and it's all going to be amazing and they're going to be incredible and it's all going to be happy, happy, joy, joy. But we all know the truth is that all clients are human and all humans have faults. And they're not even faults, they're just missteps because they have no idea if that's inappropriate or appropriate unless you tell them. So the way to handle boundaries without sounding rude is to incorporate them into your potential client process before the client even has a chance to make a misstep, right? So in my potential client presentation, I walk my clients through how many rounds of revisions, what the communication style is, whatever is important to you, put it in your potential client presentation. Don't have a potential client presentation? Create one. So in this, you could include office hours. You could include communication preferences. You could include, just any expectation or boundary that you're having with your current clients. Go ahead and put that into the next conversation you have. And a great way for it not to seem rude is to tell a story. So you might say, for instance, I worked with this incredible, amazing lady who I just loved and I still stay in touch with, but she had this habit of rolling over every single morning and calling me at 7 a.m. And you know what? She had my cell phone number because she either knew it previously because we were acquaintances, or she got it off this, the neighborhood list, or I gave it to her because I was meeting her at a stone yard one time. Whatever the case may be, we need a way to make sure to understand that cell phones are off limits, right? The way to communicate with me is through my office phone number, through my email address, or through a meeting that is scheduled. And you just tell a little story. And it is more memorable if it's a story. And you never tell a story where you are bashing a past client. This lady that I worked with, I love her. She was amazing, but she had this habit of calling me 7 a.m. every single day on my cell phone. I now know that I need to tell that story so that I am letting clients know outside of business hours on my personal cell phone doesn't work for me. But here's what does work for me, right? So never in a bashing way, never get like super negative Nancy on it, but just tell a story and then tell the outcome and how to do it better. And when we build some of those into the program, it really doesn't come across rude at all. And if they do happen to pick up that phone and call you at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, you can be like, oh my gosh, we are not going there. You're not going to be that little lady that I love and still stay in touch with, right? Just a reminder, let's pick this up Monday morning, 8 a.m. at my office via email, et cetera, whatever works for you. Hey, are you struggling to attract dream clients? Imagine confidently choosing who you work with rather than hoping that they find you. Introducing the Client Attraction Formula. The formula includes 6 comprehensive modules full of proven client attraction strategies, marketing templates, and resources, all with lifetime access, designed to help you attract your dream clients. If you're ready to go from unknown to irresistible, then the formula is for you. So I was going back and forth with some designers in the standard, and we were talking about I kept giving them drafts of it's just not a fit. I've decided not to take the project. I've taken it into careful consideration. It's just not the next project we're going to take on. All my little verbiage, right? Please and thank you. Thank you for your time. Always wrapping it up in a bow of kindness. But every single draft I gave, there was this one designer who was like, still sounds rude, still sounds mean, still sounds rude, still sounds, dismissive or whatever. And I was like, is there a version of no that doesn't sound mean to you? And then where does that take you in your life? We had this joke when we were like 25 that you just kind of married whoever you were standing next to. I'm sorry, you didn't. God forbid you just marry who you're standing next to because you're of that marriageable age, which probably now is like 35 or something. I don't know, whatever. I'm old. But these inability to say no can land you in client relationships that go on for years, in business partnerships, in marriages, right? Is there a version of no that does sound kind? You have to be kind to yourself. You have to protect yourself. And being able to say no with kindness and grace is a skill that every business owner is going to need, right? You will get pitched by vendors and trades and marketing companies and web security companies. I mean, the pitches are endless when you have your own business. You have to have a kind no. I had a pitch recently come in, and it's like, it's a maybe. It's a definite maybe. And so I gave my request for some more information, and I kind of gave myself this little pep talk right when I asked for more information. I was like, and just because you asked for more information does not mean that you can't still come back with a kind no. Mm-hmm. I have to give myself that pep talk, right? I don't feel any hesitation about the kind no out the gate. Offer kind no, offer kind no. But I'm like, offer interaction, I still get to have a kind no, right? I still get to have a few potential client meetings and say, no, this one still feels sticky. This one still has red flags. This one still doesn't feel clean. That I don't like how, this little detail, this little red flag is going. It's a no for me, right? You have to, even if you have the exchanges, you still have to give yourself permission. You are allowed to have the kind no. Yeah. All right. Should I provide the client with a detailed explanation of the contract violations that led to the termination, or is it best to keep the communication concise? No, I think you absolutely have to tell them what has been violated in the contract. You need to have an open and communicative conversation where you go through why this is happening, what's not working, right? If it could be on your end, if it can be on their end, but we need to have an adult, professional, emotionally grounded conversation with the truths of what went down. Absolutely. Do you find yourself creating exceptional design work, yet still struggle to run the back end of your business? If so, check out my signature program, the Interior Design Standard, to unlock all the tools needed to transform your design firm. Everything you need to run a profitable business all in one place, from contracts and pricing calculators to templates and scripts. Take the leap and join designers across the world raising the bar for our entire industry by enrolling in the Interior Design Standard. Focus on is what you cannot control. And I know that might seem strange to focus on what you can't control, but we need to bring awareness to that. There is a pandemic that created a global supply chain issue, and that needs to be very clearly pointed out to your clients. What I want you to do is do your research. Go out there and find a few articles, a few points of information that explain our supply chain issues, why they're occurring, and when they're due to end. No time soon, right? Go ahead and educate those clients and make sure that they understand what's going on. I positioned it in a way to say, I'm sure you're aware, but this is a result of the pandemic and it's completely out of my control. In fact, I was reading this article about it recently and then I attached it there. We're not acting like they don't know, but we're reconfirming that this is outside of our control. And I really do need to focus on that because the next couple things that we're going to talk about all roll back to we can only worry about what we can control. Cheers to that. So one of the big things that you need to do as a business owner and as a person who runs projects that are going much, much slower than they should be or used to or whatever that expectation is to shift and pivot how much time you're giving to each project. So if you would normally be in this project for 12 months, but it's taking 18 months, You may need to scale back from a weekly meeting to a bi-monthly meeting. You may need to scale your in-person site visits to once a month if the construction is moving extremely slow instead of every single week. I would absolutely continue to email your client each and every week as a touch base, but I would really think through the necessity of meetings. One of my easy ways to do this is every meeting must have an agenda for me to take that meeting. There aren't meetings for the sake of meetings, and there are never meetings for the sake of bitching, about the delays. Getting together and commiserating about the negative impacts of a big global delay is moving nothing forward, and we are in the business of moving vision forward. Let your clients know, due to unforeseen circumstances that I have no control over, and also if you have an agreement that has the force majeure clause, this is where that may come into play. You need to call your lawyer and find out if your clause is applicable to scale back meetings or add an additional fee if necessary if projects are running longer than they should.